You know, every single day, we're the audience for dozens of little performances we don't even think about. Getting your morning coffee, hopping on a flight, calling customer service. They're all shows. So, have you ever wondered what's really going on behind the curtain to make it all happen? We've all been there, right? One day, the barista knows your name, your coffee is perfect, and you walk out feeling amazing. The next day, it's a long line, a messed up order, and your whole morning feels off. How can the same simple thing feel so magical one day and miserable the next? Well, take a look at this. On the left, you've got the pure frustration of a long, messy line. It's chaos. On the right, a diagram for a smooth, elegant wine service. It's choreography. The huge difference between these two experiences isn't just luck or having one good employee. It's all about design. It's about having a killer script. All right, so let's get into it. The big idea we're going to unpack is that every service is basically a theater production. Seriously, it's got actors, the employees, it's got a stage, the store or the website, and most importantly, it has a script that everyone is supposed to follow. Okay, so if every service is a show, then what does that script actually look like? Well, we're about to pull back the curtain and look at the director's secret weapon. It's a tool called the Service Blueprint. So what is a service blueprint? It's basically a super detailed map. But here's what makes it special. It's not just a to-do list for employees. It's a visual plan of the entire service, mapping out every single step, both visible and invisible. And the key is, it's all done from your perspective as the customer. Let's start with a really simple example from our source material to see how this works. This is a blueprint for a motel. For you, the customer, the process looks like a straight line, right? You park, check in, go to your room, sleep, check out. Simple. But underneath that, there's all this stuff you never see. The kitchen, prepping breakfast, housekeeping, cleaning rooms, all essential to make your simple journey possible. And this brings us to the most important concept of the blueprint, the split between the front stage and the backstage. Think of it like a real theater. The front stage is everything you see, the actors, the set, the performance. The backstage is all the hidden chaos, the crew, the props, the lighting rigs, that makes the show run smoothly. That dividing line is called the line of visibility, and it separates your experience from their work. Okay, we get the motel. It's simple. But now let's see how this blueprint handles something more complex. We're going to break down a fancy restaurant dinner and treat it just like a three-act play, using its blueprint as our guide. And action. Act 1, the arrival. So you, the customer, walk in, maybe grab a drink, and get shown to your table. That's what you see. But look at all the stuff happening backstage. The bartender is making that drink, the host is juggling reservations, the busser is clearing a table. Every single step is perfectly choreographed. Now here's where the blueprint becomes a total game changer. See these little circles with a W or an F? They pinpoint where the show can fall apart. W is a potential wait, like that awkward pause before someone greets you. And F is a potential fail point, like getting your order wrong. The blueprint forces you to find these weak spots before they ruin the customer's night. All right, on to Act 2, the main event. You order, the food comes out, you eat. This is where that front stage and backstage coordination has to be flawless. It's this beautiful, invisible dance between the server who's talking to you and the chef who's plating your meal in a busy kitchen. And this is probably the most critical fail point of the entire show: the food itself. You can have the friendliest servers and the most beautiful restaurant in the world, but if the main course is bad, the whole play is a flop. It's a moment you just can't recover from. And finally, we have Act 3, the grand finale. Paying the bill, getting your coat, grabbing your car. Now, it might seem like the show is over, but it's not. A great service is obsessed with the ending. A fumbled check or a long wait for the valet can leave a bitter taste that ruins the memory of a great meal. So, we've looked at the mechanics, the flowcharts, the whole process. But a great service isn't just about checking off boxes. It's about how it makes people feel. It's all about the psychology of the experience. The real pros, they think like psychologists, and they follow a set of rules like these. The two biggest ones: start strong and finish strong. We remember beginnings and endings more than anything. You also want to get any bad stuff, like waiting, over with early. And here's a cool one: break up the good parts to make them feel like lots of little gifts, but combine all the bad parts into one quick moment. And our source material really drills this point home with this quote. It says the opening and closing scenes of a service drama are particularly important. It's just confirmation of what we all feel intuitively. That first impression and that last memory can color the entire experience. Of course, no show is perfect on opening night. And just like a Broadway play, great services are constantly being tweaked, refined, and redesigned. The director is always looking for ways to make the performance just a little bit better. So why bother redesigning? Well, the goals are pretty clear. You want to cut down on those fail points we talked about. You want to make the whole process faster. You want to help the business be more productive. And the most important one of all, you want to make the customer happier. It's about making the show better for absolutely everyone. But here's a really fascinating twist in the modern world. That line between the audience and the actors, it's getting blurry. Think about it. When you use a self-checkout kiosk or assemble your own furniture, you're not just watching the show anymore. You've become part of the cast. You are now a co-creator of your own experience. So there you have it. You've now seen the director's playbook, the service blueprint. You can see the invisible choreography behind pretty much every interaction you have. So the question is, now that you have the script, if you were in charge, what daily show in your life would you rewrite first? The line at the post office? That confusing app you have to use? Once you start looking, you'll see a world that's ready for a rewrite.